Hello everyone, this is Jen from the Hungry JPEG. I want to show you how to use some of the things that are available in the Let's Craft bundle that's available here in April of 2016. Come on. Okay. So make sure that when you get the bundle that you unzip it first. So let's open the cut files. Now I am using SCAL4 all graphics. So this is where all the graphics for the cut files are located. And SCAL4 is a very good cutter program that also is very good for all of the fonts too. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the mason jars. In SCAL4, the regular edition, we can use EPS and SVG for the cut files, and then PNGs you can use as well. You can either bring them in this way and do a trace off of the image. SCAL4 Pro uses the DXFs. Okay, so I'll show you what an EPS looks like. So there's an EPS file. Do the preview. There are all the cut lines, so that's what will be cut. To change it to a draw only file, come to the wrench, cut line type, change it to a draw. There is the blue draw lines. Okay. Oops, didn't want to do that. Let's come back up here to SVG. We'll come to the SVGs, and we'll do jar 3. Okay, you'll notice that the SVGs tend to come in smaller than the EPS files. Okay, so let's come to the preview. There it is again. Okay, so if you want it to be drawn, change it to a draw. Okay, if you want it to be printed, print, cut, print, preview. There is your printable. Okay, so that's how you will go about doing those. Okay, if you know ahead of time that you want to print only, if you notice in if you notice in their bundles they have a lot of the papers, you'll come here to File, Place Image. Brings up all of these really cool papers. This one makes my eyes go funky. You'll click on the item that you want to be printed, and it eventually will come up in here. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to come up to Object, Transform, Auto Fit, and that fits it to whatever cutter you have. If you notice over here in the paper icon on the right panel, it says mat size. I have 12 SNC. I have made up a mat for my scan and cut because I own the Brothers Scan and Cut. You will see custom size down here. If you need to, on YouTube, you can search custom Jen Blasey, and that will bring up a video where I show you how you can make a custom size mat that fits your cutter. Okay, so I have that in there, and I went to Object, Transform, Auto Fit, and that fits it directly to my mat. Okay, so then I have that placed and selected. File, Print. Brings up my printer. So then I can come in and change the properties to this paper type and size that I have. And then you'll hit OK. And that will shoot it directly to your printer. If you do not have your printer set up, click Print Setup first. And that will guide you through the setup of your printer. Okay, I'm going to make a second page. You hit the green plus sign. Page Properties, Page 2. So I hit Enter, which is just like hitting OK. Here is the trace window. You utilize trace to trace in any image file, as it says trace image, which is a JPEG or a PNG normally. So let's trace in, we'll select this one. Now normally I know you wouldn't want to trace something like this in, okay? But I'm using this because this is a very good for instance. Now normally when we bring in a trace, it's set to monochrome. When we adjust the slider, you see that it gets darker, lighter, disappears, okay? Well, we need to figure out how we're going to get our image to appear, because we want it all as one, just like it looked in that picture, right? Well, sometimes you can't do that with trace monochrome. So let's click Update Preview. Let's just bring it over here. I can tell you it's already wrong. It traced in everything in black. These two top lines are one, and they're not supposed to be. Well, what can I do? Well, let's get rid of this because we don't want this. Trace image. Select this again. And we're going to change this to single color. I usually avoid color layers because that's just a headache. Single color. Therefore, I get to pick what color this trace is in it. Okay? In order to get this to function appropriately, you're going to have to click on this button. That then allows you to scroll through here or just roll your mouse through here and pick the colors. And with this blue background being selected, that actually gives me the base because that's what the whole background is actually made out of. So I'm going to click OK and see what that brings up. Alright, so that's the background of the entire paper. So you can further go through. Oops, forgot to click it. And select other colors by clicking on here and rolling through and choosing them, okay? And usually a really low number like this is all you'll need to get you what you need. Okay, so let me click OK and show you, alright? But I'm going to tell you with this, alright, with most hobby cutters, you can only have one layer. Right now this is actually two layers, the pink layer and then the bottom layer. So you'll have to go through and make pages for each layer that you trace out, okay? Because if you union them, okay, even though this is on a clear or a hollowed out background, if this pink is touching the blue in any of these spots, watch what happens. Oops. And sometimes it takes it a while to do. So even if it's just touching in one tiny corner, watch what happens to the entire file. And this is when you union. Come on. Maybe. Okay, so there. It completely disappeared. Now you can see it when I hover over it, and when you click on preview it'll be there. But when you just normally look at it, you can't see it. So it's best to just create another file or another page that will then be another file with the pink layer. So this will be a page and this will be a page because this will be a file and this will be a file to help you to keep it separate, okay? Alright, so let's get rid of this. Now, sometimes, like if you get a file from Etsy or someplace, I gotta get rid of this, that makes my eyes go crazy. You will get like an SVG or a PDF, and you try to bring it in and break it apart like you normally would, and it ends up looking like, hang on, wait, I actually did want this. You get Nope, not that one. It looks like this. Okay, so they'll send you a SVG. So it's supposed to be able to be totally broken apart, no problem. Well, you bring it in, maybe. And you come up here. And you try breaking it apart. Oh no. What happens? I need this broken apart. So what am I going to do? Well, come up here and you try breaking it apart. And it's not happening. Well, because instead of making a file, somebody just pretty much turned a picture into a file. They did not take the time to actually make a file. Okay? But it's okay. You can easily fix that. Just come here to trace with this object selected. The little arrow thingy has to be around it. But when that's like that, click trace and look what happens. It comes up right here. So click OK. Okay, so here is our little file. But we want to click on this big one and get the big one out of there. Alright. So now it's still, because it is a trace, you're still not going to be able to break it up like you normally would. But you can come in, stay on the inside of the big outer line. There's all the inside marks. So we're going to re-highlight that, come up here to Object, Merge. That will pop out the inside stitches there. Okay, so this is your big like flat black part, big flat back part, and then this is the top stitches. Okay, so those are the two parts. I'll align them to the page. We'll align this big back part to the page. And whenever you go about breaking something up, to get it back together, go to Object and Merge, like I'm going to do right now. And there you go. So see, you had these lines, and then the stitches, and then the big flat back part of it. Okay, that's really hard to see, but that was that solid back part. Okay, so that's how you go about doing a place image trace. Alright, and then all of the SVGs, the cut files in that's pretty much the self-explanatory. You just put them in there and let them go. The EPS and the SVGs, those work absolutely awesome in SureCuts a lot. And then they do, yes, I want to delete it. They do have the fonts. Let me show you here. In the Let's Craft, they have the fonts available here. Okay, and those you install just like I show in the other videos. Alrighty, if you guys have any questions, send us an email at hello@thehungryjpeg.com. You guys have an absolutely awesome day. Thanks for watching.